subscribers only. Only subscribers.
What up, what up, what up, what up? I said it 4 times so I don't break copyright.
Oh. That's funny. He just posted a new tutorial. It was Fortnite creative hacks. Oh, he's getting really big into this Unreal Engine for Fortnite
that open
stuff.
Fortnite stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should put a bat signal out.
My little pug sitting in like the background or something.
Oh man, I need to grab my. I should grab all. It. I wish the
Did
pugs
the box
weren't.
come?
Oh yeah, it's not. Yeah, they're all in the bags though. I wish they weren't because I wanted to cover myself in them.
Yeah,
maybe
you
I'll
need to
take
take
them
a
all
picture
out.
of like you covered
Covered
in the pugs.
Yeah.
Let everyone know that your sweat and blood is getting all over their pugs.
Blood though? I mean, sweat definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me to get a couple of them from you. I need to grab a couple of them from you before we go to.
Well, the point was to bring them all.
Well, because we're only gonna give away one per city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like.
Well, most of them. You're gonna need
you
most
should just
of them.
give them all to me, and I'll hold on to them, because I'm going to everyone except for I don't know what Atlanta is yet.
Yeah, neither do I. My daughter. I'm hoping my daughter goes to that.
Yeah, that'll be fun. If it's the week of the 7th, though, I won't be able to go. I'll be in Daisyland.
I think it would be the next weekend. I believe. Maybe. I don't know. If it works out well, we'll see. Okie dokie.
Sweet.
My daughter.
So.
Oops. I meant to go to the live dingus, not to the actual
What's
link.
up, Mello? What's up, Thomas? Good to have y'all here.
I think we're good to do a show.
I like this 2-person. I like no guest lately.
It's
been kinda
convenient.
nice.
It's convenient. That's true. On this day, 9 years ago, you got a Telly Award. Congratulations.
Hey, all right.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Congratulations. You paid a bunch of money for them to give you a trophy for winning something that a lot of other people could very easily win too.
You pay
just by paying money
to play.
Dude, man, I'll tell you the detail on this new camera, like on my skin, you just see all my freckles and everything.
Well, you could change that. It's got, the skin detail settings.
It's
yeah,
all right.
You can tweak it all in, Jason,
haven't seen you in a
Wow.
while.
My dude.
How's
Long
Bat Boy
time
doing?
no see.
I've missed Bat Boy.
You need to come out to some of... You haven't been to an event since COVID, have you?
That's true. Yeah. Been a while.
Mm-hmm. Come see us. Where is he located?
Aren't you in... Are Arizona? Is it Arizona or New Mexico? Jason?
We gotta hang. All right. Don't know
Go
what
take another Bat Boy picture. It's my favorite.
I don't know what we're gonna talk about today. I got a couple things on here. I'm talking about threads.
Are we gonna talk about threads?
The writer's strike.
Do we have a Threads account?
I mean, you automatically get a Threads account if you're already on Instagram. So it's,
oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you just have to log in.
I'm waiting for our new social site. I don't need anything else. Just need Mograph.com.
As long as it doesn't go the way of Dunder Mifflin Infinity.
Well, as long as people keep on, double invoicing, it'll be perfect, right?
All right, let's start the show.
Like you do.
Like you do. Here we go. What's up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt. Joining us today is no one. It's just us. It's Hot Mograph Summer 2.
That's right. And Mograph is a supplement to our site, Mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Questions, comments, concerns, queries, grievances, artist suggestions, show topic ideas. You can check us out, mograph.com, mograph.com/live. If you want to check out the live shows, you can check us out on youtube.com/mograph. Check everything out there. And you could find us on Threads. I don't think we've really posted anything yet, but, whatever. I'm trying to get my flag out of the shot here because it's distracting me. My flag. Do you have a flag? I have a terrible flag. It's a piece of paper. And it's usually not a big deal, but when we have just both of us on the wider screens, you can see it in the frame.
Yeah.
It's blocking
that you
the
can
glare.
see all my colors, The colors, children.
Hi. You won't appreciate it on as many levels as I will. Well, hey. So here's hot Mograph summer. Oh, Jason is in Arizona, yes.
Yeah.
And, that's pre-show banter people don't even know about. So we are doing a hot Mograph summer because it is hot and because it's slow. It's not slow. It's the opposite of slow.
Very
That's
busy.
the problem.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to schedule people at this time of year. It's summer. Everybody's on vacation. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
We're busy. We're traveling. It's easier for the two of us to sit down and just have a show on our own for an hour and be done. It's very well. If it's very. It's very easy for us with our current schedules, and it is also kind of like throwback, and we just decided we were going to do this for a little bit.
And we talked about doing this occasionally, where it's just the two of us again, instead of like bringing on guests every single week. It's fun.
And we can catch up on topics a little bit more rather than digging into everyone's background. Although sometimes it's hard to figure out what topics, but the good part about being busy and about doing projects, which I feel fortunate to have this year in particular, is that inevitably you're going to run into issues because you run into issues when you're working. It always happens. It's inevitable. You're running into technical issues. You're running into new things. You're trying new plugins. You're on the grind and you're learning stuff. Hopefully, if you're working on projects that allow you to expand what you're doing. And so for me personally, I found a lot of little things that I'm annoyed by with Cinema 4D, like that annoy me, and it's just because I'm just been so into the program recently that they've come up. So it's not a gripe on Cinema 4D. It's just things that I have found that I would like to be better, and probably something I should hit up Max on Rick about. There's just little things, Week wrap up. I don't know if we have anything particular we want to talk about this week. Tour.
I haven't done a whole lot of Mograph the past week. It's all been like video game stuff, just like working on my video game. Very excited.
I've been
doing
a lot of
stuff, man. I'll tell you the amount that I have learned about the original NES and how limiting it is. It is insane that video games were even made back then.
Right.
Because so I start building out these I say beautiful, these really cool looking, like sprite sheets and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I'll be able to do that. I'll put that as a background. Then I come to realize that you're limited to only 2 sprite sheets per thing.
I hate
and
when
so
that
it's
happens.
like, oh, well, that completely changes my entire workflow, and you got to make sure that monsters are like small enough, and like you're not going the 64 sprites before they start flickering.
Wait, what's monsters?
Yeah.
What's monster? What do you mean monsters?
Okay, so
is that a thing?
Yeah. Well, at least with the NES Maker, I'm not programming anything in assembly, so I'm just using the NES Maker for it. So within NES Maker, you've got your player character, and then you've got monsters. So your monsters, you're actually creating sprite sheets for the monsters and the way that they behave and what they do and stuff like that.
Are you talking about like a character called a monster?
Yeah. Like anything that kind of interacts and is moving across the screen or something like that,
So is this where Skrillex got the name of that song?
I have no idea. What's the song called again?
Scary monsters and nice sprites.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Could
that
be.
Could be the case.
I bet there's a Wikipedia on it. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out.
But it's pretty cool. Yeah, I was able to like. So I'm doing all like the what I think is going to be the difficult part first. Which is like getting the character in the scene, creating animations of him running, jumping, climbing trees, and then
putting on makeup while you're up there.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then getting. I just now finally got the gun shooting, which is great. So like that animation, but like so I'm creating like a side scrolling. Not an auto side scroller, but with the side scroller, you're limited to those 2 sprite sheets and stuff until you load a whole nother set of area or whatever. And this is what I realized, like, this is what like Mega Man did, so Mega Man would have like 2 or 3 separate areas, and then you'd get to the edge, and then it would load a whole nother thing, right? So within that loading, you can load a whole nother sprite sheet, and so you're not limited to that, so that you can have different monsters per specific area that you're in. You know what I'm saying? So my thought is, in order to deal with that, I'll have the whole level, and then at the end, you do like a Mega Man style thing where you go through this in-between area, and it loads a separate sprite sheet, which is actually the monster is the what would be my main bad guy is actually like just a background, but the monster itself is actually an overlay on top of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's actually just loading a background, and then the monsters are just whatever, So yeah,
it's a lot of work.
But then you're also limited to a total of like 12 colors.
I think you should explain. You're actually building this to put on a real cartridge.
I am, yeah. So I ordered. Yeah. I get it this Wednesday, and I'm really excited. Maybe I'll show it off. Actually playing on the thing next week. But like, yeah, I ordered a. It is a, basically like a cart loader, as well as a blank NES cart that you can load your game onto. And so I'm doing this specifically so that I can play it on my NES.
Now, I'm assuming it's like programming an EEPROM kind of thing, right? Like where you've got to send a code into an EEPROM.
I have no idea.
No idea. Can you adjust this game on the fly, or do you have to do it on the computer, reload it to the...
Do it on the computer, load it onto the thing, put it into the system, test it out, take it out, reprogram it,
So it's probably programming some sort of EEPROM.
Yeah.
And then you pop it in and it works. That's why you can't do it on the fly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's so exciting. I'm really excited to get this, but I don't know. I wish it was Mac as well as PC, so that,
Well, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
All the obscure programs are PC only.
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty mainstream to make a Mac version. I didn't find any meaning to the song besides like the meaning to the song and not the actual title.
Yeah, but I don't know if like the idea of monsters and sprite sheets or whatever, or monsters in this particular instance is,
but he says monsters
just for
and
this
sprites. It's very well, if it's very it's
maybe
very
monsters
convenient.
Is just an industry term.
Is it a coincidence?
For bad guys and stuff.
Monsters and sprites, but he says monsters and sprites. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you zooming in to match me? There you go.
No, well, yeah, that as well as like I had a lot of headroom. You know?
You did.
It's because like this camera is slightly higher than my previous one, or like it doesn't tilt down as much. Dude, I ran into all sorts of issues trying to get this thing to actually work. Up until this morning, I spent like an hour trying to get it to work.
Why?
Unplugging it, plugging it back in, unplugging it. Well, I'm going through my A10 Mini, for it. So like it's going out HDMI. One thing I wish I had with this thing was a button that would allow me to just turn it off remotely instead of actually having to like turn it.
I'll get the app.
What? I have the app. It doesn't let you turn it off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I've got it going through the A10 Mini, and so I don't know what was going on. I had to unplug the A10 Mini, plug it back in, like power it down, power it back up, and then it started working again.
It's probably whatever flavor of video it's sending.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it got messed up at Discord at some point, and then just wouldn't come back.
So I guess as far as events go, we should talk about what's coming up. I'm going to be tweaking the website with all the new info on some of our dates and ticket sales and things like that.
Yeah.
That are coming up in the next couple months. And there's going to be some info on there about half-res as well. Mm-hmm. If you want to buy a ticket to DAT in Chicago, we will basically redirect you to just buy a half-res ticket.
Yes.
That's how we're going to do it. It'll be nice and simple. So you don't have to worry about, do I buy this ticket and then a ticket to their thing? It's all just combined.
Yep.
So if you go through our site, you'll see just go buy the half-res ticket. So during the day, you can come see the show. We'll have a little break, and that night start half-res. So that'll be fun. That's Chicago. That's in September. And then the following week is camp.
Yeah.
And do we have any announcements for that as well?
For camp? No. Nothing in particular.
Nothing new in particular?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we've been working our butt off, so I don't think there's anything new. If you're on the wait list and you haven't gotten an email, just keep on, because I know we do have a couple of open spots that we've been sending out to waitlist people that, like, you got basically 24 hours to respond, and we did have a few people pick some up. So we're slowly going through that list. If you haven't gotten hit up yet, then just wait. You may.
Now, these are mostly tent tickets, right?
We've got a few tent tickets, and we've got a few community cabin tickets left.
Oh, okay.
So,
community cabin.
So
that's good.
They're being sent out, so just be aware.
Yeah.
But lots of cool stuff. We've started, like, ordering swag and figuring out all that stuff. I finally got all the workshop instructors, like workshop sheets or supply lists and stuff like that. So that's really exciting. This camp is going to come real quick. Oh,
I know.
And Prime Day. So I'm camping this year. I wanted to be with the tent people, out in Tent Village. So I bought myself a 12-person tent. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Oh
yes, I got a text from your wife about it.
So
did you know that?
I did not know that.
You
no.
didn't?
No.
Oh man, hold on.
I've been like loading up on I've been looking at all sorts of like tenting gear and stuff like that, like because I want I'm gonna be tent camping this year, so I wanted something that felt nice, that felt big enough or whatever, and I didn't want one of these 1 to 2 people tents that you can only fit an inflatable mattress. So I bought a 12-person tent, which was awesome. So I bought a 12-person tent, and I was really excited about it. So I was like, I moved all the furniture in my living room, and I was like, oh, this shouldn't take up much space. It took up my entire living room.
Right. And that was the thing, is that I got a text from Amy. I just texted it to you because the second part I probably can't read on the air. But the first part, it's just a picture of the tent in your living room, taking up the entire living room. And she said just one normal day would be cool.
That's hilarious. So yeah, it took up the entire living room. But what's awesome about it is it's a you can set it up in less than 2 minutes, because if you have room to roll over. It's a 3-bedroom. It's a 3-bedroom tent. You got one on the left side, you got one on the right side, and then you could set up a whole nother area in the middle if you want. They've got these dividers and stuff. So anyway, so I bought the tent, I set it up, super excited about it. I'm gonna have plenty of space. I bought an inflatable mattress. So funny story. I bought the inflatable mattress. I was going to inflate it inside the tent, and test it out, because you gotta have it's got to inflate and deflate. It's basically got to stretch out the rubber first so that it doesn't feel like it's deflating, right? So I was putting up the tent, and I put it all back together, not realizing I accidentally left the inflatable mattress inside the tent when I packed it up.
Oh, great.
So now I have to take the tent out again and pull out the inflatable mattress and then re-inflate it and stuff. So that's fun.
Yeah, there it is right there.
There it is, yep. So so there's that. And then I also bought this Anchor 757 portable like power generator or whatever. It's basically a gigantic battery that you can run stuff on. So I got it in the mail the other day and I was so excited. It came early. So I plugged it in, I charged it all the way to 100%, and I was like, I want to see how this does. So I had my wife run her APAP machine on it all night to see if it would work. It only took down 19% of the battery all night. And we slept in that day. It was like 12 hours straight of this use. 19% battery is what all it took. So we still had 81% battery on this thing after running it all night.
Dang.
It can charge your phone 110 times.
Nice.
So I am gonna be glamping like crazy. I'm gonna bring myself a little whatchamacallit, like a mini fridge and stuff like that. I'll be good to go. Yeah.
Oh, Justin LeDuc has the answer. Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites was named after David Bowie's 1980 album Scary Monsters and Super Creeps.
Well, there you go.
But I'm still wondering, is it a play on words with monsters and sprites?
It probably is. I would think it would be.
Because Skrillex is into... He's into that. He's into that. And he's into... Who was on his... Who was on that album as well? I think it was the same album, right? He did...
I don't know.
He did that collaboration with someone. I don't remember who it was now. It wasn't David Bowie, but it was somebody else.
Yeah.
So do you want to do sponsors for camp? By the way,
I'm gonna be glamping, and it's gonna be awesome, and I'm really excited for it. So, but I realized I have a lot more camping stuff, and I'm the only person in my family who camps. So,
well, bartender Bill was here yesterday, perfecting cocktails with Julie.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Pretty good. I think they're gonna come back. He's gonna come back. They're gonna do some. I'm gonna take some photos of the official drinks when they're locked in.
So that you can get some stuff done with them.
Yes. And then Patrick 4D I think is gonna model the drinks.
That's awesome.
Which is gonna be cool. Yeah.
That's gonna be really fun.
Justin said me and Skrillex DM sometimes. I asked him, no response yet.
That's funny.
Not sure if serious or
right. Let's hit up sponsors for Camp Mograph. So big shout out to all of our our global sponsor Otoy. Big shout out to them. Thank you so much for, helping with camp, because it helps bring the price down, and we got some amazing swag coming to all of our campers and stuff. So big shout out to Otoy, as well as our village sponsors, both Maxon and Spilt. Super excited to have them on board, and our gold sponsor, Grayscale Gorilla. They are sponsoring. Their sponsorship is going towards. Did we talk about the music corner?
I don't know if you did yet or not. I think maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to have a music corner. I'm bringing the drum set. I'm bringing a couple guitars. I'm bringing the bass guitar. I'm bringing some amps. I'm bringing a PA unit. So if people want to jam, they can just jam.
Failed musicians unite.
Failed musicians unite. Yeah. Yep. It'll be cool.
I can play
I'll get Nick Campbell on drums,
Yeah. I can play the bass by ear.
There you go, yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my ears are going to be pretty scratched up by the end of the weekend, but...
Oh, boy. Ding.
Do the puns get the half ding?
That's funny. Yeah. Your ding, your half ding was better.
My half ding is just like your Disney bell in general.
Yeah, I know. That stupid Disney bell. Paid so much for that.
So as far as topics and things, I'll get the C4D grievances out of the way.
Real quick, I was going to say DAT Tour. With the DAT Tour coming up in Toronto and Montreal, So we're actually the team, who are doing the DAT tour will actually be in Toronto for a couple extra days.
Right.
And I think we're actually coming. What?
I said right.
Yeah, and I think we'll be in Montreal like maybe a day or two as well, because it's just cheaper for us to stay up there than it is to fly all the way home and then fly all the way back like the next day or something like that. So, yeah, if y'all are in the Toronto area and you want to hang out, hit us up. It'd be fun.
I think Smearballs is going to hang out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I want to go up to his studio. I want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to hit up Joel, but I think he's got
you never know.
Well, he's got a date in Las Vegas, basically on the 17th, and the 18th is the only day that we'd be home. So I doubt he'd be home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping maybe I could catch a concert in Vegas again when I'm there.
Yeah.
Like Zed or something. But Zed is there the week before and the week after. Thought my daughter would like that. Yeah, let's talk about just like events in general, right? So the next thing coming up would be Half Res.
Next thing
I'm
coming
sorry,
up is SIGGRAPH,
not Half Res.
Yeah.
SIGGRAPH is when again? I gotta book my flight.
Yeah, SIGGRAPH is, let me look at my calendar.
Because that's the first
thing. It will
thing.
be, I believe, the 7th, 8th, 9th, or 8th, 9th, 10th, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, of August.
All right. So I'm going to come out there too. There's word of a party. Is that public yet? Maybe we don't talk about that yet, no. But there will possibly be a party at some point. So keep your ear out for that. And then let's see. So after that would be the 2 Toronto dates. So that's the end of August. Mm-hmm. So whoever wants to hang for that. September is going
Toronto
to be...
and Montreal, not the 2 Toronto dates.
Sorry, I meant the 2 Canada dates.
Canada.
Toronto.
Right.
And then Half Res. Yes, Half Res. Yes. We're probably just going to get in and out as quick as we can on that because we're going to be prepping camp. But again, that's going to be the morning of, so you'll be able to get your tickets soon. I talked to Chris. They are working on launching the website, so you'll be able to see all of that. All the info for DAT and Half Res all on their site, and our site will redirect. We're also working on getting panelists for Toronto and Montreal. If you're up there and you're interested, maybe hit me up. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll run it up the flagpole and discuss that. We need a couple people. We do have a lot of friends who are at Maxon in Canada. And we've got a lot of friends in the area. I'm sure Noseman is going to be around, all of that. I can't wait to see Noseman as an AI avatar. For some reason, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Because Noseman knows. Did you know he's Greek?
I've heard that once or twice. Matt, so Half Res, basically we're going to be doing a morning session for stuff. For DAT, and then the Celebrate portion
is Half Res.
Right. Yeah.
It's all one event, all the same place.
Yep.
One ticket. So nice and easy. And then let's see. Then we got camp. I'm going to stay in Colorado a couple days after that to get some interviews.
You will.
Yes.
I'm going home directly after camp.
Yeah. So I'm going to caravan with you and some other people up to
We got a
Denver.
Caravan of like 4 cars driving from Dallas all the way up. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Who is it? Me, you, Jeff Burns?
You, Jeff Burns, and then I believe Ryan Talbot and
Travis?
Travis are going to drive with us as well.
Okay.
And then Pickle Nick is driving with us.
Of course. Yeah.
So
Julie's flying in and out.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to worry about all the driving.
Yeah, or the luggage.
Yeah, it's actually nice because we can bring extra stuff. I'm working on some art projects to bring.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool.
And I got all my camping gear. The thing is, all the camps from now on, I'm going to have to drive to if I want to, tent camp at it.
Right.
So.
And
because I also can't bring the Anchor 757 generator on a plane.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, could you?
It specifically says in the instructions you cannot fly with this.
You can't carry it on, I guess.
Nope.
All right.
Good timing.
So the next event after that is what? Then it's going to be some other DAT events. We're working on Atlanta. I believe,
Yes.
for October, which will be good.
They're talking about October, yes.
Right. And we pushed some of these because going to schools and things, like, what's the point of going to the school in the summertime?
Right,
You know,
exactly.
Especially if we end up doing SCAD in October. That'll be nice. My daughter wants to go to that. I found out my daughter wants to go to SCAD.
That's
So
exciting.
that's fun.
That's really exciting. Sorry
Yeah.
about your pocketbook.
Right? Better get on them scholarships, yo.
I realized...
Come on, we can pull some strings. We know enough people in this industry, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I was trying to... I want my kid to go to SMU here, in Dallas.
Jeez.
Right, exactly. And so I was like, oh, I should probably plan for this. Let's look at how much it is. $60,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
A year!
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Amy's got a plan to where she's after... Because she's technically eligible for retirement as soon as Gibson is 18 years old, So she could retire and then go work at SMU and get free tuition.
Actually, my friend's mom did that. She went to work at TCU when he was in high school all the way through, and that's how she finished her career. And he got a great deal on his education at TCU. Yeah.
So I just got to wait. I got to wait until the kid's out of daycare before I can actually start saving money. Dude, the amount of money that is going to come in, like, through bills that I don't have to pay in 2 years. Oh, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to be rich.
Oh, you mean that when you get things paid off? Yeah.
Well, because I got daycare ending in 2 years,
Right.
Which is like $1,100 a month,
Yeah.
And my pool will be paid off then,
The pool. Did you get a Beeple face cover for it yet?
No, I haven't.
I think you need to. I need to get the plaque for my thing that says Winkleman Terrace.
Right.
We lucked out on the NFTs, I'll tell you that.
Yep.
We were walking through his place, and our pieces were popping up. I was like, hey, look, there's your pool.
There's your pool. Yeah.
Hey, look, there's my patio. Thanks, people.
Yeah. It's funny.
I'm going to call it Winkleman Terrace.
Going back to dates. Yeah, so we're talking about doing Atlanta in October. That's rough. And then there's NAB New York.
Yes.
That'll be in like the last week or second to last week of October. So that'll be fun. If you're in New York, I want to hang out. I love New York. I'm one of those I'm a walking brand of those T-shirts that say I love New York. I really do love that city.
Classic pizza there.
Yeah, get some.
Not in a coal oven. Not in a coal oven, though.
No, not in a coal oven.
And that's their new rule, right? And then you get some Sbarro,
You're right.
like Michael Scott. Some classic New York pizza.
I love that city. Like, it's so funny because you go to, like, we went to a sushi place, me and Nick, on our last day there last year. Because I just love sushi, right? And so I'm looking online, and it's like, 3 stars, whatever. It's close, Let's walk over there. This is the best damn sushi I've ever had,
Why'd it have 3
And
stars?
Like, I don't know, but it's like, it's so funny because, like, it's just the food there is so good, and anything you want, any type of food you want is within walking distance.
Well, yes.
I love that city. I just
never
love it.
Sleeps.
I know.
Should make that their
slogan
or something.
It was like 2 a.m. in the morning, and we were all hanging out, and EJ was like, let's go do karaoke, and we did karaoke.
Right.
We found a karaoke place.
Yeah. You're going to find it.
I just love that city. So, November is going to be Europe. We will be in, where all are we going? Paris.
London.
Paris, London, Berlin, and what's the other one?
Is that
Paris, London, and Barcelona. So yeah,
and France.
Well, that's Paris.
Wait, I mean, sorry. I thought
Paris,
you left one
London,
out.
Barcelona,
Paris, London,
and Berlin.
And okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Marcus says, "Am I still working on my
up
hot
in the
tub?"
air. We're working on the dates right now, but if anyone is in Paris and I've got a couple extra days, if you're interested in going to Disneyland Paris with me, I would love to go.
Marcus
Because it
asked
will be weird going to Disneyland Paris by myself. Or
I'm sure you can find somebody.
Trying so hard to drag EJ to Disneyland.
Isn't that the
Paris.
one that sucks though?
No.
Oh, it's
Disneyland
the good
Paris
one.
is, I hear, is really good.
What's the one that sucks?
I don't think there is. I don't think there is one that sucks now.
I thought
They're
there
all
was
really...
better build the castle a bit bigger. They've actually got them here.
Oh, that's funny.
We've done a lot of Eddie.
Maybe that was Euro Disney
today. Euro Disney. That's what I'm thinking.
But
yes.
I think Euro Disney is Disneyland Paris.
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
Marcus asked if I'm still working on the hot tub. Yes, I would still like to get the hot tub. The problem is, I spent that money in the last week on my air conditioner. So we will see if I can make that up with another gig. If I can get another gig to pay for it, absolutely. The issue is that the air went out, and well, the Freon went out. Got it refilled. Within a day, all $400 of that went up in the air because it was leaking. So got a $6,300 air conditioner. Then the people who install, I love the company that I've been working with, but the installers did a bad job. What do you call them? The ducts were not even attached all the way, and it was ridiculous. Just blowing air into the attic. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So they came and fixed that. They were actually pretty embarrassed about it. They fixed that, and then I decided to go for the radiant barrier. The thing is, it's going to be 107 degrees. That's without the feels like temperature. Tomorrow is going to be 107 with a feels like of like 110. And you just can't cool down your house. Even if you just blast it for hours, and it just can't keep up. And it ends up still being, 80 degrees up here.
Yeah.
With it running all day, with my window unit going, with the fans blowing. And you have to, in Texas, put in some barrier to keep your attic cool. Because if you're not from here, especially if you're up north, right, you turn on your heater for the first time in the year and you smell that smell, because the dust is kind of burning a little bit in the vents or whatever. I smell that every day when my air comes on because it's 140 degrees in my attic.
Jeez.
So that's what we deal with here in Texas. You can't even
I don't, but you do.
What?
I'm lucky because my
you
house
have a
is
newer house.
It's it's only 5 years old, so
mine was built in 94.
I can get mine down to 98 or 68 degrees if I wanted.
Yeah. I was only 14 when this house was built. So it's got a lot of cricks and cracks just like
Matt,
me.
Yes, exhibits pass is enough. Just like Vegas. Yeah.
For NAB New York,
NAB
yes,
New
exhibit
York,
pass. I believe the same probably applies to SIGGRAPH as well. Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do the same, like,
do they
Expo
have an
pass.
exhibit pass only for SIGGRAPH? I don't think they do. I don't think they do that.
But
I think you actually have to pay.
You can still get the passes through Maxon, right? Isn't there a promo code?
Maybe.
Or no?
I don't
we'll
know.
have to find out about that.
Yeah.
I will ask.
By the way, Euro Disney is actually Disneyland Paris.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's the same. But I hear it's really good.
Yeah. Let's see what else is on the agenda. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna just do quickly the airing of the grievances in cinema, and maybe people have a workaround for me on this.
Do you need to bring out the metal pole?
Yes.
We need like a metal pole.
Yeah.
Graphic or something.
It's not that bad. It's just some things I noticed, and sometimes I'm like, okay, well, maybe if I talk it on the show, somebody has a good solution for me.
Yeah.
I talked about some of my issues with even if you turn off the traffic lights, it's still trying to calculate Mograph and stuff in the background. I have learned so much this year just from repetitive action because I've been doing tons of Mograph stuff, Mograph effectors and fields and all of this, and man, I just feel like muscle memory on this now. Set this offset, do this thing. Like, it's not like I never used Mograph before. It's just I've been using it so intensely, and fields are just the best.
It's
just the best.
It's so deep too. It's
anything
so
you
deep.
want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and fields on top of fields, and it's just great. And re-effectors and the whole thing.
Vertex maps. That's the hot stuff right now.
If you want like a section of, I'm doing a lot of text within Mograph and stuff, and it's like, oh, this section needs to open up a little bit so I can put a word here. Well, just put a field and a plane effector, and the balls just kind of go to 0, or you could do a push apart there, or whatever you want to do. And man, I'm just like in Mograph Zen with that. But I've been doing some other things as well, some more complicated things. And one of the things is trying to work with splines in cinema. I just they're working on the spline tools and things. There have been significant improvements. The thing for me is people use splines to create pretty graphics all the time. Okay, why is it that you cannot ease a point and point level animation? Now I know there's the get around on this, which is that you do the whole time remapping thing, and you do a time track, and then you put the time track on the spline, and then you ease that animation. Okay, but like there's got to be an easier way.
Point level animation should be, or easing and point level animation should be a thing.
Why is it only linear? Like, why? What is the technical reason that they don't allow you to do that? It just doesn't make sense. And so I started thinking about it, like, what if I just attached that point to a null, and then that null could ease? So I went to ChatGPT, and I had it write me a Python script that any null that you put underneath the spline with this tag on it that I write with the Python code will attach it to that, so that you could put the easing, and it actually works. Here's the problem. There's no handles. So you still have to keyframe the handles on the spline itself. So you have to keyframe it in such a way to where you don't see the handles coming to an abrupt linear stop. But you can do the point level easing by doing that hack.
Have you tried a pose morph?
I haven't tried a pose morph with a spline.
You should.
But that sounds like that could work.
Yeah, because I know, basically you're creating points, you're changing points,
right?
And then you can ease that for sure.
But that's more complicated. That's more steps than doing a time track for me. And but here's the deal: why not just have a keyframe and right click and say ease?
I agree.
What is the technical reason that that's been like that all this time?
I don't know.
So there's that. The other problem that I'm having a weird overshoot problem. And I wish I could sit down and show this to somebody, because you can set what types of keyframes you want by default. If you want everything to be linear by default, you can do that in Cinema. If you want your types, you can set your type to say no overshoot on your keyframes, right? But there's, for some reason, I will go in and I will set two keyframes on something, identical keyframes, right? The camera's here, and then I copy that keyframe over here, and or I set another keyframe because it hasn't moved. So let's say frame 0 to frame 90, this particular thing has two keyframes that are identical. Well, the thing will dip down, and you'll see it do this curvy thing and come back up to that point. And you're like, why is it doing that? I don't understand, when I have no overshoot on, why it's overshooting. And you take the two keyframes, and you go over to your attributes manager, and you say no overshoot, and then it's fine. But my defaults are set to no overshoot, and I don't understand why the overshooting happens.
Wonder if there's another setting somewhere.
It's like if I think it happens a lot when I'm kind of manually setting or moving keyframes, copying keyframes.
I could see that happening.
But I don't need that overshoot. That's not what I'm trying to achieve almost ever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't need overshoot unless you're doing maybe some springy bouncy things.
Yeah.
Or I don't quite get that, because when I set a keyframe exactly the same from one place to another, I'm telling it, hey, hold.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to put a hold keyframe. It just should work.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot about curves too, but
I wish curves worked more like
After
the way
Effects.
they do in After Effects. Yeah.
Yes.
I absolutely love the way it works in After Effects. Ease in, ease out.
Right. Because
linear.
even if you do that and you set one keyframe to linear, if you have two keyframes, you want it to be linear coming in, let's say like the start of a scene, something's flying in, but you don't want it to like slowly start flying. It needs to be already flying. You got it linear, and then you set the other one to the other keyframe that arrives to ease in, and it doesn't ease in.
Yeah,
it just
what sucks
stops.
Is I have to manually go through and set my handles to be at 0 and 0.
Or you do like too easy. Yeah, you do that, or you're manually setting all of your graph editor stuff.
Yeah.
There's not a setting that makes that work. And if you were to do that in After Effects, you'd have a linear, and it would automatically ease in, and it would figure out that calculation. And I don't get why that isn't just default. Like, that's the thing. Like, splines are doing better. I need some more, like, easy control of keyframes. So I'm not sitting there. Because what happens? Then you need to adjust your curves. Then you go to the curve editor. Then you're like, okay, well, which one do I want to do? And they're all on top of each other, and you got to find it. And then you can't see it because it's off somewhere off the dope sheet.
Right.
So you have to select all, bring them to front, and then that's just on that one.
H will frame all of them, or just the one that you've got selected.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. H or S. I usually do select all and hit S because I want to see the whole thing. But like, it's just a mess. It's hard to navigate that dope sheet in that little window.
Yeah.
Like, just need a little bit. Like, some of this stuff I wouldn't even have to use a dope sheet if it were set to work like After Effects. And I don't understand the reasoning behind that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it should be a little more fluid, if you will. But, so that's one thing. Here's another thing that I noticed is text alignment. I am having text alignment problems. Because if you use the text tool, right, and I feel like I've had this problem before, so I don't know if it's been there already, but I do middle alignment on some fonts, and I don't know if this is a font issue. I haven't tried another font to see if it's doing that. It will go back to left align.
Weird.
So you'll have something nice and centered up, and then you'll go to render, and it will be left aligned.
That's
so I'm
weird.
like, all right,
I've never had that issue.
I'm going to keyframe the middle alignment, and I keyframe the little alignment. And so it does the same thing. It doesn't make any sense. You go on, if it's left justified, you click back on left and back on centered, and then it's centered again.
Weird.
And then if you render from there, you're fine. But if you were to just like put something in the render queue, it'll be left aligned. So you have to babysit it to make sure that it doesn't snap back to left alignment. Even though it's on middle, it's keyframed on middle. It just doesn't go to the middle.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
One thing I've found that I need to keep in mind. This has nothing to do with yours. This is just one of my grievances. One thing that I always have to keep in mind is when I start running into problems, like my workaround is almost always, how can I make it one piece of geometry? You know what I'm saying? Because the way cinema works is that it can handle a buttload of geometry, you know, or a buttload of things if it's only having to do one, you know?
Right.
For example,
like CAD files.
I was using text as basically as like geometry inside a vertex map, you know, a vertex map field. So I was using a vertex map. I had a vertex map on a plane. I was using fields with the vertex map, and I would throw, like, because I had multiple things of text in there, you know, because I wanted to be able to easily update my text. So I throw each one into this vertex map, and it just about freezes on me. Like, it was slow as molasses, right?
It has such a hard time with easy things. I don't get it.
Yeah, and so, but here's the thing. So I took all my text, I duplicated all of them, I converted it into one geometry, you know, and put it all just connected and deleted. Threw that in there as one thing. Works fine. It's like flawless. Plays
did you
like
try
butter.
Connect Object?
I couldn't do a Connect Object because I was keeping things organized, you know, in their own nulls, and I can't throw each one of those because they've got, like, you know, effectors with each thing and stuff. So it's like I was throwing each of them in there. And what sucks is, like, if I make one little change, which happened, I have to go back and redo all those steps over again.
Right.
You know?
Right. You want to try and keep everything as procedural as possible. And that's always my problem. It's like, it'll work better if I do it this way, but I don't want to.
Right.
I want to keep it procedural.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was frustrating that, like, it's frustrating that my scenes can be very simple, you know, well, simple to me, you know, but like there's not a lot involved, but cinema will just freeze up because there's too many processes going on.
Right.
Even though it's a simple scene.
If you go and put like a basic Mograph effector on some spheres and you just do like 100 by 100 by 100, it doesn't matter how great your system is, it's going to just jam up. And you've got multi-instance and things, but you can't really use multi-instance in things like Octane, and so that helps a little bit, but sometimes, like, with all the fields and everything, I just have to throw them into a separate layer and call it mute, and I have to turn off all the things in order to make it work. And one of my big beefs, too, is the way, I love that now we have the thing that says, the console that says what's going on in the background, so you're at least not pulling your hair out.
I mean, when it freezes,
why.
You can't bring up the console.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not the Octane console. The
task manager down at the bottom, when it's frozen, you can't bring it up.
Well, yes, but I'm not really talking about it being frozen.
Right.
Yeah, there needs to be something to stop it from a loop. Sometimes one of the things is if you have a Mograph object and say that you have it set to endpoint, right? So it's like however many you say will fit in this space, right? And you accidentally drag downwards to like 0.333 something, and the thing just crashes on you because it's trying to put a million clones in something. There's got to be a safeguard for that or something.
I think we talked about this on the last show.
I think so. But one of the things that I'm not sure if I talked about on the show, and it might have been something in Discord, was that task manager on console needs a cancel button. Because here's what happens. Say you have a piece of something and you want to remesh it. Okay? And you go in and you're like, I want to remesh this, and it starts thinking about it, and then it's taking too long. If you still have control over your mouse at that point, you can then take that object out of that remesher,
right?
Or you change a setting on the remesher or something, right? You want to say, okay, well, don't remesh it to this. That's going to take too long. Remesh it, with a little more, adaptation or whatever it is, adaptive, whatever. Well, it starts a second thing in the task manager. And it's like, no, I got to finish the first one first. And you're like, but I already took this object
I never noticed that.
out of the remesher. And it's still, and then you copy something else. Oh, now I'm doing 3 remeshes. It's like, that's not even there anymore. So now you're waiting for the other 2 meshes to finish that aren't going to be used. As soon as they finish, they just go away.
I didn't know
you're
that.
Still waiting on the computer to finish it. And you're like, this is dumb. Why am I waiting? And the only way to fix it is to quit Cinema and open it back up. And then it's like, oh, no, I'm fine now. Just let me cancel processes. And also let me see what's taking up so much freaking processing power in the viewport.
I will tell you, when After Effects implemented that was a game changer for me, because it helped me change my workflow on a lot of things. It's like, okay, I know that this plugin that I use all the time actually takes up way more bandwidth than just doing it this way, Or
it's enough to even know, okay, this is what I need to turn off while I'm working for a little bit, and then come back to. That's the thing. All it needs is a cancel button in the task manager and like just an easy way to escape. The amount of times that I have had to just force quit Cinema because of something like that. And it sucks because then you got to bring it back up. You got to wait for everything to load.
Got to go back into your auto save because it had been a long time since you saved, and then you got to save that as a iteration of the next one.
For you. I've been saving.
That's why I save it every 5 minutes.
ABC, always be saving.
Always be saving. Most I ever lose is 5 minutes of work.
So there's just a lot in that area where things are crashing and you don't know why. Now, I do have a lot of Octane crashes as well. My Octane recently, in the latest stable version that I've been using, has been, my biggest thing has been when I turn off the viewport. It's like, and it's always before I render, right? Like I'm about to do my final render. Okay, this looks good. And I save. And I will need to hit render. But before I do that, I'm going to turn off my viewport. And you hit R to turn off the viewport. And everything crashes. You're like,
That's so
why?
interesting because that has been my number one issue with Octane on my new Mac is when I close down the live viewer, it crashes every time.
Yeah.
Like without fail.
Right.
Every single time. So like I always just keep it open. Even
this episode
when I
brought
render,
to you
I'll
by
hit
Maxon
render,
and
it'll go, it'll render through the entire thing, and then I'll close it down and it'll crash every time.
You like our sponsors, Maxon and Render, and
Right.
we're just airing our grievances.
Here's the thing.
But there's
Are
a
we gonna
reason.
change to something else?
No.
Probably not. We're
That's
gonna
the
use
thing.
them.
You're gonna find problems wherever you go. But
Absolutely.
the good point about this is that these are people who listen, and I know that they fix things that everybody talks about. Like the fact that you can search for antiquated or old versions of things now in Shift C.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. That we've been asking for that.
What's really interesting is also I'll have because I've now made my Mac my main machine. It is my main machine that I work on now, and my PC is just a secondary machine that I use. It's really interesting noticing the difference between what will run well on my Mac and what will run well on my PC.
Right.
The exact same project, those vertex maps work flawlessly, work easy. I can throw whatever on my Mac. On the PC, not so much. But I can actually close down the live viewer in Octane on my PC. I can't do it on my Mac.
Yeah, I would say 50% of my crashes are Cinema and 50% are Octane.
Yeah. I will say I do love on like you don't run into those CUDA errors anymore on the Mac, because it's not CUDA, it's metal.
It's not CUDA, yeah.
And when it does get like an error like that, you just have to close down the live viewer. You don't lose
right.
You don't lose
I thought
Cinema,
they were doing that for
amazing.
Cinema though.
Yeah. I think they're still working on that. I don't know. But as soon as they get it working seamlessly render between Mac and PC, dude, life's gonna be good then.
And I'll tell you, my favorite node right now that I've been playing with is the procedural effects node in Octane. Wow.
Have you used the Chaos node?
Yes. Yeah,
Dude.
You used that the other day. That's great. Yeah, because it helps you with seamless patterns. And the thing about the procedural effects is not only that you can do things like add lines and patterns and things that you could kind of do by mixing it with Cinema's version. But sometimes you just need that stuff. Sometimes you're like, I just need some lines, and I want to go to Photoshop and make that. Yeah. But that's great. But then the fact that, man, there are some really cool procedural things that you can do, and it has animation. So
really?
So there's
what is
some
that again?
Crazy stuff. It's called procedural effects, and it starts with.
Is it an OSL shader?
I'm assuming that that's what they're doing on the back end.
Okay.
But it's just a node that you bring in, and it starts with some sort of like, I don't know, fire something, but there's fractal stuff, there's like all these different noise flows and things that you can put in things. There's like a procedural effects, and there's some other things in there as well. It's weird because there's all these things in there, and then you go to this one other option, and it has a bunch of options in it. But what's really cool is the way that you can animate these things. Wow. You can do star fields and all these other procedural effects in there. And what's great is applying them to like a glass, either displace or a bump map, something along those lines, and just what it does. Like, I almost feel like if I have some time later on in the end of the year, whenever I'm done with work for the year, do some renders where I do a render with each effect.
Yeah.
And show what it can do, because I love it. Like, I've been doing some really cool looking stuff with it.
What's it called again?
Just play with it. Procedural effects node. And you drag it in, and there's a bunch of options. But I'm telling you, man, I just applied it to some glass the other day.
That's rad.
And it was so cool.
That's
cool. I've been using it for everything. Like, there's one I was trying to do. I was doing something with crystals, but when you get big crystals in like rock, how there's like the little itty bitty crystals that form around it. Yeah. Well, I did a displacement map that was using these crazy like mini fractals, and it was just creating these like crystals around everything.
That's super cool.
Because you pipe it from that for displacement, you pipe it into a baking texture.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah.
I don't know why you have to go through those steps to make the displacement work, but you put it in the baking texture, and then you put it through. And so beautiful stuff.
That's
so
rad.
go play with that.
I use the I'm mad at myself for waiting so long before figuring out the chaos node because it's so simple. It's incredibly simple. And what I did was I took a non-seamless texture from Midjourney,
Right.
I typed in a Midjourney prompt that is like, seamless blah 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 beach, and it didn't give it to me seamlessly. So I just brought in that texture, threw it into a chaos node, boom, done.
Well, and even if it's seamless, if you zoom out too much, you're going to see those patterns.
You'll see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
and so
crazy
that helps.
cool.
Yeah. Let's see.
Speaking of Midjourney,
Zoom
Midjourney
out.
5.2
You can do
is
zoom
too
out.
good.
Yeah.
It's actually too good at creating like good looking renders. I've been trying to use it for like game sprites and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you say like 8-bit, it doesn't understand like, and this just may be me because I understand what it actually means now, having gone through this. You type in 8-bit, it gives you full color and something that just looks like a pixel art.
Right. It's not
and it's
actually.
like, no, I need this to be actually 8-bit color,
I think you could probably find like some sort of
separate,
what do you call it, LLM, like that is
in,
specifically.
I could do it in Photoshop. 100% I could probably just do it in Photoshop.
Yeah, but there's probably like a stable diffusion version that's made just for doing that stuff.
I'm sure there is. Yeah. I haven't gotten into stable diffusion at all.
I mean, I don't know if you call that an LLM. I guess you call that an LLM, but I don't know if you would really call it that. Like a separate version. Oh, I gotta tell you this too. I played with God, what's the name? Wonder.
Oh, yeah.
Wonder something.
Wonder Kit.
Wonder stuff.
Wonder stuff.
Butternuts.
Butternut.
Wonder Studio.
Wonder Studio.
Now, I wanted to just try it, and I guess you have to pay even to try it. You have to pay a little something, so I paid for like a month.
Yeah.
You can't do like 4K and all that. And everybody, this is what I don't get. Everybody is so big into it, like, oh, this is going to replace everything, and it gives you an export of your camera, and it will give you the tracking, all that. And it will give you a mask, but it's not that good.
Yeah.
I turned myself into a robot a couple times, and like I got a shot of myself like in the mirror doing a selfie thing, moving to see if that would work. And I did one where I just set the camera in my office. That one turned out way better because there was nothing moving.
Right.
It is useful in a way, but like it's not prime time. You're not going to go to a client and say, I'm going to use this. Yeah. You're just not. Like I maybe at best you could pull a good like a good animation for a model that you then bring into a character rig and then do something with. But right now I just don't see it as, you just don't have the fine level of control. I just wanted to try it and see.
And they give you the like cleared out background as well, right?
Yeah. Now this is all if you pay, you get.
I mean, I could see using that as a good starting point, especially if you're comping stuff over.
It's okay. Wonder Dynamics is what it's called. But it's it's called Wonder Studio on their thing. I'm going to bring it up real quick, see if I can show you what I made in my projects, and you'll see what I mean. So this project, this is the one that didn't turn out too great. It was just basically me and this is the, like this, I did like a 720 version, so I peeked my head in the bathroom. This is me peeking in the bathroom, and it's like, okay, this is not working. And I get it. I mean, it's the mirror and whatnot. I get that, but like,
it is kind of working. Like, there are parts where that looks fantastic.
Yeah, but this one is way better. Look at this.
720p, watching it over Skype.
Yeah, no, this one turned out a lot better.
Hey, you're Johnny
Let
Five.
me mute it. Yeah, I'm Johnny Five. So I just set the phone on the windowsill. You know, I was holding a cup of coffee. I wanted to
Yeah.
see what it would do, so I'm like holding the cup of coffee and drinking it, and you can see it when I turn around. You know, but I do a little dancey dance there or whatever. But it's not really tracking the floor well. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, are you gonna do this with your client and like really? I don't know
I'm
about
curious.
that.
So, do they give you the model as well?
You have like preset models you can use. Here, I'll show you the.
See,
So
if they give you like
they have these characters.
if they give you the 3D data and the model,
They
you
do.
could bring it back into Cinema
Absolutely.
and then like actually light it the way it should be lit and stuff like that. You know.
But I
That's
just don't
the-
really
how I-
understand. Well, what are you doing? What is this doing for you at that point? Tracking your body? There's been
I mean,
there's been
that's a
software
fair
around
amount
for
of-
that.
That's a fair amount of stuff, you know. To like, okay, it tracks your body.
Mhm.
It gives you the 3D model, you know. It gives you the background replacement stuff, which you could clean up if you wanted, you know. And then you could take the original footage and create create it in 3D space and put them back in there and then relight it, you know.
I just feel
Like
like I could
this
probably
that
use
you're getting
software
here
to capture
Is
this.
a very simple starting point to me, you know.
Right, but I could use Rococo's automatic tracking thing
Yeah,
and
but,
then
like,
just do it myself.
not a
It's
lot
going to
of-
give me the same data.
Will it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It gives you the whole rig and everything. The only thing it's not going to do is erase the person from the
Right.
scene. But why not just shoot it twice with a person and a clean plate?
That's true.
You know,
Set up a green screen.
it's just not even that.
Yeah,
You could
yeah,
just do a clean plate and then put your character on it.
yeah.
And just do your tracking data version separately. Just record that, have Rococo figure out the motions,
Yeah.
and then just animate it. Like, I just feel like this step is pointless because I'm going to redo it anyway. And that's what
Yeah.
it's supposed to be doing, is all this work for you, but it's not. You know, see, you can bring out the AI mocap, the clean plate, the alpha mask, the blender scene.
Ooh, let me see what the clean plate looks like.
I haven't even looked at this. I don't know if you... Oh, see, it downloads it.
Oh, that's lame. Okay, never mind.
I mean, I can try and see what it brings up. I don't know if it's like PNGs. I'll let it
It's
finish
probably
downloading.
PNGs or something.
But yeah, I'll open it up and see. There's come on. Still don't like this new Windows system. It's an image sequence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna extract it to clean plates and see what we actually get here, because I don't know. Clean plates. This is another beef of mine with Windows, is that, oh god, I hate their files. I hate their file system.
Yeah, I know. Going back
Oh
over to
my
Mac, I'm like,
God.
oh wait, I can hit spacebar to look at stuff again.
I'm like, clean plates. Well, where is it? I just did it, and now it's like not in order. CLEAN. Like, where in the world is it? I don't know. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, yeah, I can't find it. I really can't find it. I really cannot. Oh, here it is. God, see, the way that they organize this. Is it anything good? No, it's not anything good. I mean, it's crappy clean plates. It's all stretchy and messed up. I would rather just...
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Stretchy and
hold on, let
messed
me
up.
bring
Can you
that-
show? Can you
Well,
preview it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me go back to my... So, if you look
Quick
at...
look for PC, I know. Yeah.
No, I have a quick look. It was just
Yeah.
the stupid... But, like,
Oh,
it's not a
nice.
great clean... Like, I could just shoot this on my own. I get it if the camera's moving. That's a different story. But
Yeah.
I'm just like... If I were going to make a clean plate out of this scene, I would just
Dude,
get this
You know what?
area.
The number
and-
of times I've had to do replacement or like, you know, stuff like that, and a clean plate like that would work 90% of the time for me. You know?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder, can you, like, you shot the footage and then you uploaded it, right? It's not an actual app.
No, it's not an actual app. No, you just
See,
dump the
I
file.
mean, I think that'd be cool enough just to, like, you know, hey, here's some footage. Give me a clean plate. I don't care about the character, you know? Could be interesting. Could be a good starting point.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Anything else on the list today?
I don't think so.
I do want to mention that I have been talking to birds.
Like actual birds?
The original tweet.
Oh.
No, there's a cool app if anybody is bored and wants to do something besides TikTok. I just wanted to mention this will be my, Mograph recommends. I'm going to do, it's called Merlin Bird ID. And what's cool about this is it listens, I don't know if you can see, it listens with a spectrogram, right? And it figures out what birds you're listening to.
I'm pretty sure I saw this on TikTok. Did I send this to you?
Maybe. That's where I saw it. That's where I saw it. But what's cool is, the other night I was sitting out there and it was telling me, oh, that is such and such, and that's a such and such, and this is a northern mockingbird. And I'm realizing, like, the mockingbird is mocking all these sounds from these different birds. So I go through and I start finding some of them, and you can play back different sounds. And there's certain ones I was figuring out this mockingbird would always repeat if I sent them out. So like the juvenile and a couple other ones that had like I would do them, and every time he would start doing them back every time. I've got it on video too. It's great. So I've been talking to birds at night. There's cats that are showing up. I've been feeding this cat chicken every night, like leftover chicken. Yeah. So
I miss my cat.
Cats and birds. The only other thing I wanted to talk about real quick is the strike, because I think we're going to see some, I don't know, like people are worried about what about
TV and movies is going to suck for the next 5 years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's happened before. We saw this happen. But are the actors going on a sympathy strike?
No, the actors are going on strike. The SAG-AFTRA
just
Foundation,
in general.
They are on strike because the studio execs, from what I understand, the studio execs, for some of the reasons, were taking extras, paying them $200 and saying, we can use your likeness in perpetuity for AI backgrounds and stuff like that. And it's like, no. And also the residuals that the actors are making off of some of these like streaming services are like crap, And so I think they're trying to negotiate a 2% of revenue of the streaming services, which seems like nothing.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure that motion graphic designers are worried about, like, how is this going to affect our industry? But it could have an opposite effect. A lot of times, just like COVID, it's like, okay, well, we have to do stuff without actors. We have to do stuff with less writer, whatever it is, and we're going to use all graphics. So it could have the opposite effect on our industry. It's like people might need more graphics to make up for it.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's something we'll keep an eye on there.
People will always need motion graphics and video.
Yep. That's
until there is no electricity and no entertainment ever is needed.
Exactly.
People will always need it.
Yeah. Until the grid shuts down, they're gonna need
until the grid shuts down. Which, by the way, have you watched the show Silo on Apple TV?
Mm-mm.
It is very good. It's very good. I got sucked in by one of those TikTok videos where they're like, this person does this and then they ask for this and blah, have you seen those?
I can't stand those.
Right.
It's like just narrating. The guy goes down the street and he looks at the woman. It's so dumb.
Exactly. I got enthralled by it. Like they basically, I thought it was summarizing like halfway through the season. Turns out it was just the like opening episode or whatever. So I watched the first few episodes and man, I was so enthralled, and then it got really boring for like 3 more episodes, and then the last 4 were like awesome, and like it ended on this major cliffhanger and stuff, and I'm like, oh, so good, I want to know more. Would you like to know more? Right? So I started looking it up. It's based off of a book, of course. So I started reading the book,
Nice.
And the entire first season of the show is only like half of the first book. So like I've now read past where the first season is, and it is crazy how different the book is from the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's the show, like, there's this murder mystery and, like, you know, people in the background and blah blah blah. It's like they added so much drama to the show in order to, like, really sell it. And like 8 of the 10 episodes are like maybe 30 pages in the book. You know, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'm digging, like, between
stretch it
video
out,
games and, like, reading this book, I have been dreaming about nothing but, like,
8-bit
silos
and
8-bit video. The other night, so, like, the thing with Silo is they're in the silo, and, you know, there are rules. You know, you're not supposed to talk about, you can't go talk about leaving the silo, otherwise they will let you leave the silo, and you will, it's basically instant death.
Oh, is that
right?
the one with the woman from Parks and Rec and from?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I saw a clip of that.
See, the thing is, like, I dug her character. You know,
It's
and,
a very
like,
different character
is,
for her.
What?
It's a very different character for her.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize her at first. I didn't know it was her.
Like, and I totally dug the two characters, and like they create this illusion. The thing is, like, if you read the book, by the second chapter, you find out the ending, you know, like the big, like, mystery of the show, you know, that you don't find out until the very last episode. If you read the book, you figure that out in the second chapter, you know? So, I don't know. They did a good job, like, they did a really good job creating this world and stuff like that, you know, this Big Brother-esque world inside the TV show, that it's not the same as the
well, that's how it always goes,
you know. But I'm interested to see where the book goes and what they do with the actual TV show, because, you know, it's got really high ratings. They're already going to do a second season, but this is a 3-book series, and if they only did half of the first book, you know,
right?
So I don't know. Interested to
All
see.
right. Well, I've got renders finishing right now that are going to need to go out. As you can hear by the Slack clicks, I'm getting hit up about projects and things by clients.
Awesome.
So we had just enough time to do a little show while my render farm was doing its thing.
We'll probably do Hot Boy Summer, Hot Mograph Summer,
Hot Mograph
3
Summer
next week.
Yeah, we're just going to keep going. We do have some people lined up. You know, like, if you follow, like, Blender, he does Blender mostly, but he does some Cinema 4D. He's on TikTok, Brock Creative. Talking to him about getting him on. He's a big TikToker, and some other people. But we're going to do this just so we can get through our summer and get through our client projects quickly.
Hot Boy Summer.
Not lose an entire Monday. Yeah. So we're going to get out of here. You can rate us on iTunes, leave a review. Your podcatcher of choice, help get our ratings up. You can subscribe to our newsletter, which goes out sometimes. We won't bug you too much. You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee, the Paul Babb Feel the Babb 2020 shirt. All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders. The Render Things t-shirt, hoodie, and long sleeve tee, the Mograph Blandishment shirt, and the That Render's Fire shirt, which you're only allowed to wear ironically. Unless you're shams.
Yeah.
Of course, you can check us out at mograph.com. Put on mograph.com/TV. Rip the knob off. Watch 24/7. Mograph goodness. And make sure you check out Mograph classes. Mograph.com/classes.
Sign up for the newsletter, because we got big things coming.
Yeah, we've been saying that forever. Everybody's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure you do. Yeah, we do have some
I've been hearing it
stuff.
forever, too.
Yeah. Getting closer and closer to stuff. So it's been a long journey, and we'll explain more after later.
Yep.
That's it, though. That is it.
Yep.
Hit us up on Threads, I guess, now. I don't know. Whatever. But whatever. It's too much. I can't handle more social networks. So, all right. We're going to get out of here, though. Until next time, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.